Logan's mother was advised to refrain from talking to Logan about the current allegations and to support him in his disclosure and allow him to know the adults are working on his information with the doctor's visits. DHS does not allow parents to support their children through claims of abuse or abuse. Families are ostracized. They are alienated from their own families. And they are told that if you are discussing your case with the child, you will be removed from visits, that you will be provided less time with your children, that you will be provided less phone calls and contact. We support continued involvement by DHS to monitor the ongoing safety of Logan. CARES Northwest helps alienate families from their own children.
Amy, come pick up your papers.
Man. There's a lot to wade through because they usually put as much as they can in to make it super difficult for anybody to actually...
Yeah, there's a lot in the reports, but essentially they placed him with the sex abusers.
Yeah, no, I'm more of that.
No, I'm telling my page. They took him from his mom and placed him with the people who were sexually abusing him that he reported the sexual abuse from. And this is the caseworker's where she stays. And she stays at one of our locations, but this is also where her parents stay. So we've asked them to have her come pick up the paperwork. So that's why we're out here. Just trying to get some accountability.
There's so much to read. So I'm trying to find the most important pieces of information, those telling stuff. It's hard to wade through. The problem with DHS is that they push people against each other and then try and saturate people with misinformation, so it's hard to wade through. Counting reports too. Extent of the child abuse or neglect. Mr. Best reported that he was out of town in Seattle for work with his wife. Sue Best was staying with the children and left Jackson at home with Stephen Best for roughly 1 hour. It states that neither Best nor his brother Stephen Best were ever notified of the founded disposition in 2009. Surprise. And Mr. Best did not have any knowledge that his brother was not permitted to be around children. Mr. Best recalled that in 2009 he had just split from Logan's mother and was living with his parents. Again, Mr. Best reported his brother, who was in his early 20s at the time, also lived in the home. Mr. Best reports in 2009 he does not believe his brother would have had an opportunity to sexually abuse Logan because he was never alone with Logan during the day. I will repeat. Sue Best was staying with the children and left Jackson at home with Stephen Best for roughly 1 hour. Mr. and Mrs. Best were supportive of the assessment and stated that if Mr. Best posed a safety risk to the children, they wanted to know, but they denied ever witnessing anything concerning with Mr. Stephen Best. Reports from his own child go unrecognized during this interview. Mr. Stephen Best have denied ever witnessing any concerning with Mr. Stephen Best, or that either of the boys have ever reported anything concerning. In previous assessments, both Mr. Best and Mrs. Best have presented as protective with a desire to be informed of the best interest of their child, which DHS is not informed of. Faulkner Sonia. Original due date, 10/28/18. This is more recent. Unable to determine for allegations of threat of harm, and that was in 2000. It's really hard to tell. It'd be easier to read from the original documents.
You got the original documents?
Yeah, I just don't want her to get the original documents dirty right now. The copies aren't with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're with me. I brought them on purpose.
Yeah, I just don't want you to have to lose any of them or get them out of order if we don't have the copies.
Right. Margot took all the copies that I made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I could sit here and read all day, but it still might not make sense unless,
Right.
connecting the dots for people. They contradict each other so often, it's sickening.
It's just absolutely terrifying.
It's horrifying.
An actual founded sex abuse report can be made, and then someone can just say I wasn't aware of it after it went to trial, and they were there.
I wasn't made aware, and my child hasn't reported this except for that time that they were at an interview with a formal company and said that my brother touched his penis. Yeah, except for that one time.
That one time.
Or, over dinner when they mentioned it outside of that interview that we're just not talking about. But he didn't have a chance to do it, except for maybe that one time that we left him alone for an hour while everybody else went out of state.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't seem plausible.
I know.
But that child, we're really doing this for that child. So when he says that it happened, we're not going to believe him.
That's the work of Amy Hatton.
Well,
That's what Amy Hatton
clearly
does.
she's out to protect the child.
Right.
From himself.
Right.
I need a break. That makes me want to vomit.
It makes you want to.
She makes me want to vomit. Neglect makes me want to vomit.
That's so awesome. See, Bob, this one just says